And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Now, love him or hate him, there's no question that Pablo Picasso is an artist that is well known. And some people like his art, some people don't, but he certainly made a splash on the scene. And I think it's reasonable to say that sometimes when you look at his paintings, you may not be sure what exactly is in that painting. And that is the whole point of this party game, Picassimo. This is in a new family game line from HABA Games. And in this game, you are drawing. It's kind of like Pictionary, but with a twist where you will mix up your picture, so it doesn't really matter how good you are, other people will still have a hard time guessing it. I'll show you how it plays. Each player is given a shield which they're going to open up and put in front of them. Now on this shield is a pocket here, and each player, each round of the game, is going to draw a card, and this card has different color words on it, different colors, and then there's different words in the colors. So you're going to put the side in here that matches your language. So for example, I'm using English, but other languages will use other color arrows. It shows you which one. So I put this in here to remind me that the English words are green. And then these are basically, there's three categories: easy, medium, and hard. And at the beginning of the game, you decide which one of these you're going to do. So it's harder for you to draw, for example, the Beatles or Dome of the Rock than it is to draw rhinoceros or spider web. Each player is also given a board and a marker. And for this, I'm going to be using an Expo dry erase marker because the markers that came with the game ran out of ink. So here, I'm going to draw something. Now I'm going to just draw a very basic thing here, a house, just to show you that when you're drawing, everyone has to draw, you have to put something in every spot on the board. So there's my chimney, here's some windows in my house, we'll put some bushes there. All right, so everyone's drawing, and once you're done drawing, you say stop, and once everyone but one player has said stop, then everyone else counts down for that last player. You then will turn over a card. These cards are in the middle of the table. They are here to keep track of how many rounds are in the game, but they also show you what to switch. So here it says switch 3 and 4. So I'm going to take 3 out and 4 out and mix them up here. And then it also tells me to switch 5 and 6. So I'm going to take 5 and 6 like that. Now you can see here that this is still a beautifully drawn house. Kind of. It's harder to mix. It's harder to see what it is. You will then, starting with the first person who said stop, they're going to reveal their board and everyone's going to guess what it is. Once someone does guess what it is, that person and the person who got it correct will mark off points on their score sheet. Each person has a little score sheet here, which is also dry erasable. As players are doing this, as they are trying to figure it out, it's possible that no one will know it. So after a predetermined time, you start putting it back together. And then if someone can figure it out at that point in time, as you are putting them back, because everyone knows which were switched, you can try to do it in your head. If someone can guess it at that point, then you will get 1 point each, the guesser and the person who drew it. So as you have different things that have been drawn, for example, what is this one? This one's an easier one to figure out, right? Because if I put these back like this and switch 5 and 6, you can see that it is an Easter egg. Hooray! Or this one here. Well, this one's not very good at all, is it? Because maybe the artist is a terrible artist. I don't know. I'll have to talk with my art teacher and switch 6 and 5. And it's a genie in a bottle, which hopefully is a little recognizable here. So the fact is, it doesn't matter how good of an artist you are. And when you mix these up, it's going to be harder to see. And if you're a bad artist, which most people are, it's going to be even more difficult. Then everyone will draw more cards. You will do the same thing. Each time that you draw one of these cards, it's going to have you mix up different tiles. You have to keep the HABA symbol here at the bottom so that you have a sort of a reference point. And whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. Well, first of all, I like the game, okay? But I got to say a couple negative things. These markers are garbage. Now, I know that you have to put cheap markers in games to have them a reasonable price point. And most games come with bad markers, but these are the worst. Out of the markers that were included in the box, half of them did not work instantly. The other half ran out after like a few minutes. Really bad. No big deal for me because I replaced my markers in my games with the Expo ones. They're much better, they last longer, etc., etc. But I can see how people get frustrated over that. Secondly, as cool as these cards are, and I'm glad they have a bunch of words in the cards, there's this many words in a card, it just looks ugly. I know that they were trying to make the same game to go in multiple languages and so on and so forth, but I don't know, the whole thing looks ugly, and even though you have those arrows pointing into the screen, you're still kind of like crossing your eyes as you look at these to figure out the words. Now, Picassimo falls into that category of party games that is really not a great game. Oh, I should mention, I'm sorry, before I go any farther, I also hated these score sheets, these little weird score sheets. But that comes into play what I'm about to say. It falls into this category of party games where the game doesn't matter, the points don't matter, and everything's just made up type thing. It's just fun to play. Who cares how many points people get? There's other games that fall in this category like Concept and things like that where you're just playing for the experience, and that's great. And that's the way I think this game is best played as. Draw a picture, mix it up. And the mixing the part up is a brilliant idea. It's a great idea, and it works really well. You're only mixing up 4 of the 6 tiles, but wow, that makes it really hard. And mixing them up and having people guess, and then you put them together, and people are like, oh, and that's fun. That's the entertaining part of the game, is doing that. And then maybe who guesses it first, that's kind of a badge of honor, but giving points to the guesser, and whoever, if you draw well, you're still going to have an advantage over other people. If you get certain clues, like for example, I had bicycle on one, I was able to draw the whole, you have to put something in everything, but I was able to draw the whole bicycle wheel on one tile. So it doesn't matter where that tile moves, people are going to guess bicycle. Some of the things are really hard though. Let me see here. We got Cyclops, I guess that's not so hard, but The Graduate, the movie. Or The Acropolis, Lucky Luke, The Star Money, Brooklyn Bridge, Felix the Cat, Nosferatu, Eiffel Tower, Joan of Arc. So they say that you can give clues, like this is a movie, and I would highly recommend that because that makes it more fun. But my recommendation for this is just forget the rules, forget the scorecards, they're dumb anyway, and just play the game, have people draw their pictures, reveal it, and then try to guess what they are, and you will get a good laugh out of that. It takes Pictionary and ups it a level. It's fun. Wish the components were better, but the experience of playing this is one I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy. Certainly check it out. Picassimo. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door! There? There?